This is Karen with the Kine Garden Stuff. Today I'm going to be doing a harvest from the Hungry Bin. And let me get that set up. I will be putting this container below here so I can take the bottom harvest tray out and we'll see what there is in there. Alright, so a lot came out on this tray. Don't want to remove it from underneath it because I know some castings may still fall. And I don't want to make a big mess. Oh, it doesn't feel bad. Alright, let me go ahead and take this out and put the other tray back in underneath it. Okay, be back after I cleaned it up. Alright, here's the harvest from my Hungry Bin. As you can see, let's see, this is a bus bin and it's about half full of harvest vermicompost, and it is moist. It feels like the same type as last harvest 2 months ago. There's one worm here that I see. Let me put that in a container here, a bowl. And briefly go through everything. It will need to be dried out, but it is not muddy like previous. There's another worm. Last harvest I found 4 worms and that was it. So that was encouraging to me that, you know, sometimes worms just get trapped down at the bottom. After I reset it with a stick, because I can't do it any other way. I think all CFTs need to be, especially the ones for the home, need to be reset, except for the ones that have the bar across the bottom. But this has no bar. This has no way of going down to the bottom other than gravity. But yeah, this looks pretty good. Like I said, it is a little moist. But hardly any worms in here. Like I said, I only found 2. And 4 my last harvest, which was 2 months ago. And I'm happy with that. Here's another worm. And everything looks pretty well composted, which is awesome. Okay, so what I will do with this is I will leave it out and go through it once a day just to prevent any major clumping before I go to sift it. If I had space in my garden and if my garden was ready, I could just use this directly on my plants and it would be good to go. Like I said, there's hardly any big stuff in here. There might be a couple bones or big pits, but otherwise it looks great. And like this big stick, or maybe a stick or a bone. Looks like a stick. So I guess I could take that out and put it back in with the worms. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and reset the bin. Let me take you on there next. Okay, before I reset the bin, I might just want to look at the top here. It was up here last week I fed, was all the way almost to the top. So you can see how the level has dropped already just over the past week. Do I think it'll drop on its own down that little funnel? Not really. Only because, gosh, I've done it for quite a while and it still, hasn't done it. So let's look here. There's a bunch of mites and worms in the banana skin. I don't believe I fed last week. I think I just left it to its own devices for the worms to finish up. But I just wanted to check this out before resetting the bin. Wanted to show you the level where it was at, which was around here. Before resetting the bin, you can see how much it's dropped. I did feel underneath where the harvest tray comes out, and there is like it does it every time. There's a little concave area. So there's like a big air gap. Anyway, so as normal, there's worms throughout. And let me go ahead and set this camera up, and then I'll be ready to reset the bin. For those of you who have not seen my videos before, after I do a harvest, I stick a stick under or inside my hungry bin. The stick is an old broom handle, and I move the casting or the bedding around until I feel or hear it drop into the harvest tray. So that's how I reset my bin, my hungry bin. Okay, I put the stick in and turn it around until I don't feel a void at the bottom of the bin, which, when I began, I could feel it a lot. Big holes. And now there may be some holes within the bin right now, but over time, as I feed it in the next month or two, then by gravity, the holes will be filled in. And this also causes good aeration for the worms, I believe. So let me even this out a little bit. And you can see where the level has dropped just a little bit, not that much. But now I'm ready to go ahead and feed these guys. So let me get their food and I'll be right back. First I put down a layer of pulverized eggshells. And next I add some used coffee grounds. Next I add a layer of food, which in this case is banana skins and bread, old bread. All of it has been previously frozen, and you can see that there's still some frost on here, so you could defrost it if you want to, but I just happen to just throw it on here. They'll defrost and the worms will come back in when they're ready. The next layer will be some moist bedding. Okay, here's the last layer of moist bedding to put on the hungry bin before I put on the 4 layers of landscape cloth with attach it with a bungee cord here, and that gives it enough airflow. I found up at the top, and the worms stay inside. They don't crawl on the inside top cover anymore, or even on the insides of the sides of the bin. So there you go. And let's see, I'll be gone for 2 weeks, so you won't be seeing this for a couple weeks. So thank you for coming on this journey with me.